Okay, so very close to getting the furniture for the FJ camper into the rig. All the plumbing work is done, all the electrical work is done, all the panels are done, and phase one, which is behind me, has been disconnected from phase two. Phase two goes in after phase one. We've already done all the test fitting of phase one and phase two in the rig. So now it's just a matter of, I have to take off one of the panels, this panel back here on the cot, and take that off. This stays on, and then this whole thing, as it currently stands, gets put into the rig very, very carefully and on an angle, and then gets rotated back into position. And then we bring in phase two, we connect phase two to phase one, and then bolt it all down. So and connect it to the four attachment points inside the rig, and then make sure that the adjustable feet, which are down here, are properly adjusted. So anyway, so the way this works is got this plunger here. And the plunger was an idea I came up with to hold this sliding panel in place. So right now it's in sort of what I would call drive mode. So as I've said previous videos, the passenger seat, when it's in sort of driving mode, actually butts up right against this bar right here. And that's as far back as it'll go. But it's plenty of legroom. The seat's basically in the same position as the driver's seat. Same distance back. When it's time to sleep, we take this extension and slide it forward. In this space right here, we'll be storing our Moab air compressor, EasyFlight Moab air compressor. It goes right here. Right next to that will be the pet briefcase style porta potty. That goes right here. And then behind that will be two water cubes, 2.6 gallons each. That's part of the water system. Phase two has the two Rotopacks. Behind that, let me show this. So to slide this, first we release the plunger, pull up. And it clicks down. Just pull with the finger pull. It's a little tight, but I kind of like it tight. And then once it gets to the stops, that's as far as it'll slide. And that brings it to a length of about 76 inches. And then I have two leaves, two filler panels, each with feet that fit in here and here. And once this is extended, then you have access to the top of the Anker power station, which goes right here. And that's going to be held in place with a bungee. And I've got two little brackets here for the bungee. And then you also have access to the water pump. Right now, everything's kind of set up for transitioning into the rig. So this is not like how this plumbing is going to be, but I have to get it out of the way and just make it easy to get inside the rig. Also, some of the electrical work is just kind of temporarily tied up. But this panel is fixed and it won't move. So this just once it's on, it's on. But I can take this in and out of the rig if I need to. So it's pretty easy to unscrew. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws holding it in place. That's it. 8 5mm screws. The four-way valve for the plumbing system or the water system is right here. I don't have the second line in place yet, but that's an easy thing to install. In fact, I'll do that after it's in the rig. Once I get the water cubes in place, I'll cut this section of this, fit it to the end of the other supply line, and make sure it's long enough to actually go from cube to cube. This is our USB AC outlet combo unit, and that just plugs into one of the AC outlets in the Anker power station. And then this is our LED light, which has a dimmable function, also has a red light component. So if you hit the switch and hold it, it'll go red light, which will be great for night light. The two exterior light switches are here and here. Yeah, so we've tested pretty much everything electrical and everything water system wise we've already tested. And it's just kind of an interesting thing because part of the electrical system goes from phase 1 to phase 2. Part of the water system goes from phase 1 to phase 2. So I've tried to consolidate everything as much as I can on phase 1, but there is a little bit on phase 2 as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. Anyway, so I had an ask on Facebook for what this, it was either Facebook or the forum, for what this material is, this black material, which I've glued. It's 5mm rubber gym flooring, nothing special. I think every Home Depot probably has it. That's where I bought it, at Home Depot. But great stuff. I bought it specifically to protect the plywood. That's first thing, so because it's waterproof. Second thing is it has some grip to it, so anything that's on this is less likely to slide around. So that was the thinking, is that because when we're driving in drive mode, there's going to be some stuff that when we go camping, there's going to be some stuff piled on top of this, some gear piled on top of this, and we just don't want it sliding around. So that's what that's all about. By the way, this little piece of metal right here, which fits into the T-slot, is the accommodation for the plunger. So the plunger fits into that. Yeah, and over here, there's 1, 2, 3 outriggers. I'm calling them outriggers, and these are the things that will. Now this is not in its finished location; it actually slides that way. But these are the things that actually allows phase 2 to connect to phase 1. So it's just those 3 components, and there's 3 points of connection between the 2 sections, and that's it. And of course, slides for the fridge tray and the drawer, the camp stove drawer. Half of them are on phase 1, half of them are on phase 2. Yeah, so part of the reason why we spent so much time getting the drawers right in the shop was so that once we get it into the rig, all we have to do is connect everything the same way we had it connected in the shop, and everything will work. So that's basically what that was all about. So hopefully this is helpful. We'll put this back. Bolt the plunger. Bolt the plunger. That's its that's the driving position or drive mode. So hopefully this is helpful. I've had a few requests for the type of framing that I use or the framing manufacturer. My apologies to the people who have asked, but I kind of treat that as so-called trade secret. Public company, it's out there. It's easy to find if you really want to find it. But I think it's the amount of time and effort that I've gone into in terms of research and working with this particular company. I just feel like it's something that I would like to kind of keep to myself for now. But if someone was interested in building this for themselves, something like this, any T-slot aluminum extrusion framing system would work. In fact, you could build this out of 80/20, no problem, very easily. So I choose not to use 80/20. That's my own personal preference, just because I like the system, I know the system, and I like the people I buy it from, and I have a relationship that goes back a number of years with them. But like I said, any T-slot aluminum extrusion framing system would work for something like this. I don't know if you could build this out of plywood. You probably could, I suppose. I think it would be very heavy. I don't know if it would be as strong as this. So, one of the things I think that you give up with plywood sometimes is, you're exchanging weight for strength, and in order to get the strength, you have to add a lot of weight. And with aluminum, you gain a lot of strength with less weight. So that's part of why I use aluminum. Plus, I just like the fact that it leaves so much flexibility for connecting things and keeping it open for storage and things like that. It's just easier to work with. So it's just my personal preference. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer. Thank you.